see what else. YouTube, Twitch, are you with us? YouTube online. Twitch is always the anomaly in this case. Oh well. I mean, if it doesn't work, that's not a train smash. Let's see. Just gonna test out the chat overlay quickly. That seems a little bit small. Well, the text seems small. I don't know how this looks on a full screen. Let's see. I'm going to trust that this is big enough for people to see if I type anything, if other people type anything. Hi to random person on Periscope. Hope this is picking up my mic. How you doing? So yeah, we're going to start off with just a few loose doodles. Get warmed up. Going to be doing some superhero stuff today. Mostly my original characters. I'm going to put some music on, but you guys probably won't be able to hear it because I'm going to keep it on the down low so I don't get a copyright strike anywhere. Let's see, where's my music? What should I listen to? Let's see. Got the Hobbit soundtrack here. I'll just put that on in the background, shall I? Put on the Hobbit? I don't know. Twitch, you're still not with us. Let me try resetting Twitch. Don't know. Go. Hi, Mags. My streaming thing here is not too clear on that, but thank you for letting me know. I'm glad it's working in some capacity. I don't know. I'll just put on something in the background here. Like I say, no one's going to be able to hear it. I said turn it up loud. Let's turn that down. Here we go. Awesome. Good. Right. Let's get to why we're here. Let's just keep it simple to start. Hi, Mom. Kind of loose, just to start. Random doodles just to the flow going. To anyone who is watching, like, feel free to let other people know. I mean, it's not going to be too interesting. I'm probably going to be fairly quiet most of the time. And obviously, like I said, can't really play any potentially copyrighted music, so feel free to put on something else in the background to make it more interesting. I was watching a bunch of comic reviews earlier, and a guy was talking about Spider-Man a lot, so expect to see some Spider-Man poses here in these doodles. This is going to be like superhero design, so if you want a superhero that's really loosey-goosey, Spider-Man is the guy. I'm just going to doodle for about 10 or 15 minutes to warm up, and then we'll get onto some major stuff. I'm hoping in the future, once I've experimented a little bit, because I want to avoid copyright music in this, I'm looking into digital synths, just some auto-generated music that I can put on in the background and not worry about. But it's not exactly simple. Being someone who has like little to no experience with sound design, it's a bit tricky learning how modular synths work. To call up my friend Des and ask her if she knows anything about synths. Because if I can have something playing in the background, then I'm not obligated to talk as much. Pretzel Rocks. Okay. I'm using. Is that a synth program? Is that a like a free music site? Because I have tried using what is supposedly non-copyright music, but it's still got flagged. I'll look into that. I'll certainly give that a look. Yeah, I've been fiddling around with VCV Eurorack, which is a modular synth program, and it's been a lot of fun, even though I've got no idea what I'm doing. There's a category of pop music that's considered non-copyrighted because I've seen other art streams and people have been like playing other music there, so I don't know if they've also got it from like a non-copyrighted site, or maybe that was just before copyright became such a intensive thing, streaming platforms. Sol rocks. Okay, well, I will certainly look into that. Thanks very much. Is my camera in a good enough position? But move this over a little bit. I'm getting a little bit out of frame at times. Sort of flick shadows on this. Let's try something. I'm still getting shadows. Oh, must be the angle of the sun. But for the most part, it's fine. Show up too much on camera. Yeah, we've been going for about 15 minutes now. I think we're more or less warmed up. Start working on something a bit bigger. Solid. Thanks. If your Discord would appreciate this kind of thing, go for it. I'm an incredibly poor judge of people's tastes, so hopefully you're better than I am at that. Yeah. I'll stick to A4 paper for now, but when I do like final designs and things, I'll move on to like an A5 size, make it nice, big and bold. I do want to use these pictures for something else later. any and all support is greatly appreciated. So much obliged. Okay. So I had a couple of characters that I wanted to draw. There's one whose costume that I'm sort of trying to define a little bit more, so maybe I'll start with her. So, let's get this going. Let's get a basic shakedown and then define it from. I've had an idea for like a sort of Teen Titans Young Justice style comic. Got a whole bunch of characters that I've made up for it, but they're still a little nebulous in some cases, particularly with the costumes, because I designed them in a bit of a hurry at one point, really taking time to refine them. Not that I think their current designs are bad, but I don't know, they could use a little bit. So work on some of that here. Okay, so this first character that I am drawing here, this is Kinetica. Yeah, I know. Remember, we're in the realm of superheroes here. Any crazy name is applicable. And Kinetica, basically, she has the superpower of redistributing kinetic energy. So, um, if you've ever seen Dune, or you know anything about Dune, I know minimal things about Dune, but in Dune they have like personal shields where um, they, yeah, they have personal shields in Dune that's like absorb kinetic energy that impacts them. So the idea behind it is that if you shoot someone with a gun that has a kinetic shield, like nothing's going to happen. It's just going to absorb the energy and bounce off. But a sword could get through it because that's slower and less impactful. So that's basically Kinetica's shtick. She naturally can absorb kinetic energy that's thrown at her. So she's basically bulletproof, and she can redirect that kinetic energy around. So she gets hit by it, and she sort of stores and absorbs it, and she can use that to temporarily give herself super strength or jump really far or bounce around, that kind of thing. That's sort of what I'm going for here. Her shoulder's a bit broad. She's meant to be like a 15, 16-year-old, so I may be drawing her a bit too beefy. But let's try and keep it slimmer. I don't want him to be too scrawny. But so yeah, that's her power set, is basically the absorption and redistribution of kinetic energy and like the basic um, moderately enhanced strength, speed, endurance, that sort of thing. Your standard superhero superpower suite. Uh, but her sort of defining personality trait, what I want to make the character more about, rather than just what the character can do. Her main shtick in the personality regards is that she has social anxiety. So that can be a little bit of a detriment when you're a hero. It's like you want to help people and you want to get out there, but you're absolutely terrified of being in the public eye. So she's very much the sort of get in, help, get out, quick kind of thing before she goes into a panic attack. So I think that gives her a lot of opportunity for some some character conflict, some things about overcoming her nature, help in order to help people, that sort of thing. I think it could make for interesting. Also relatable. Yeah, I'd say how much the energy distribution has affected her muscles. I don't know. I think it's more she can. Um, I mean, we're not going for sort of like hard physics here. It's like okay, she can absorb it. She could I don't know. She could amplify it. I suppose if she's getting hit by a supervillain and the supervillain is super strong and they hit her with a super strong thing, then yeah, that's basically it. She's gets the super strength because she's been hit hard enough for it to count as super strength. Yeah, like I say, we're not playing with hard physics here. This is a this is superheroes after all. It's not meant to be too realistic. But for reference, look up a guy from X Factor. That's the comic book, not the reality show. Look up X Factor. There's a mutant in there called Strong Guy. He's basically got the same sort of power, except he uses it to enhance himself. Um, but his version of the power has more of a drawback. Is that if he doesn't expend the energy, then it sort of deforms him. So he's got like very top heavy to him. I don't think Kinetica's got that kind of drawback, at least not yet. Maybe further down the line, like repeated use of her powers will have some adverse effect, but I'm not. This is still the nebula stages. Okay, got the basic framework here. So for a costume, I already know what the basic look is. Because she's socially anxious, she has like a full face mask. This is not her natural hair. She has a wig to disguise it. It's like a full body thing. Doesn't want anyone having a chance of identifying her. Yeah, strong guy. He's big. Um, so yeah, Kinetic is sort of like the polar opposite to that. She is like where strong guy is more of like the brute force barrel kind of guy. Kinetica is more like a pinball. So it's like you hit her, she absorbs the energy, and she just like starts zooming around, rather than tanking the hits kind of thing. This is the part of the costume I'm fine with. She's got like vector arrows almost on her as part of her boots and gloves that like references movement of force around. Uh, little adding on the side here just to break up the colors a bit. It's a full face mask because she wants like no chance of people recognizing her. Got these lenses, a bit like Spider-Man, but not quite as big. Probably more like some modified goggles, maybe like what Spider-Man did in The Amazing Spider-Man. God, that's so stupid. So for a torso area, this is the bit that I'm sort of a little undecided on. Got basic idea. Want the K in there. The chest thing. This is what I had before. I kind of like it, but I got it like that. But I'm now wondering if that should possibly be bigger, should it be more stylized? And it gets the idea across. I'm thinking, like, got the torso here. Torso. Wonder if I make it more stylized, I can make the K travel a little bit further. I don't know, too lopsided, large, too distracting. It's a bit further. I don't know. I'm sort of, the more I think about it, I'm still kind of liking it a little bit. Well, draw along. Always fun to do something at the same time. Make it like a little bit of an art jam. I don't know. Maybe don't mess with what works. I'm still a little undecided on the colors of her costume now. I've got a kind of a blue and gray thing going at the moment, but the gray is interesting. I might change that to white. Yeah, um, kids are an art hazard, aren't they? Okay, let me get some ink on this, and then I'm gonna just experiment with some basic color. Let's get some paper. Yeah, it's a bit high up, isn't it? Adjust my camera a little bit. Oop, yeah. Phone is so touch sensitive, but it's the only camera I've got. Well, wakey, wakey. There we go. There we go. A bit more in the picture. Get the picture in the picture. Okay, let's just do a quick ink. I'm assuming that all is for the kitty cat waiting screen. Yeah, that's default with the app. Yeah, I've already spent enough money, um, Black Friday sale or no. Uh, already been spending too much money lately. Got to save something up. And part of that money was spent on this ring light actually. So I was, which was actually an inspired purchase once I found out about this app that can turn my phone into a webcam. And the ring lights proved very useful, not just for me, but for Caitlin as well, because she uses it for her TikToks. So that was a worthy investment. Also, I've only got so many USB ports on my computer, so to have a webcam linked to that, because I'm already powering the light with a USB, and I've got my mouse linked up to USB, so there's running out of space. So I think I could hook up another webcam there. Don't worry about that. Last time I tried to use any kind of multi-jack with any of my computers, it nearly blew the thing out, so I do not trust USB multi-jacks in the slightest. Granted, that wasn't with this computer, and the multi-jack itself probably wasn't very good, but still, I'm very worried about that. And they also slow down the performance of any and all other USBs that are plugged into it. Like just me having my hard drive, my external hard drive, plugged in at the same time as my mouse on the laptop makes the mouse wig out because it's trying to run the hard drive and the mouse through adjacent ports, and it does not like it. So I'm uh, I'm not concerning myself with a multi-jack. Thank you. Nova Girl, hi. Uh, Joining us from YouTube. How's it going? Glad you could join us. No, thank you very much. I'm glad you enjoyed those. I will definitely be getting back to Ironsworn very soon. I say very soon, but most likely in the new year, I will be getting back to them because I had a lot of fun playing them, and I will definitely want to carry on with tomorrow's story. Not my greatest inking job, I'll admit, but this is more uh, just for some reference. I want to do a quick color test on this. Here. Okay, I got some color pens, some alcohol-based markers as an early Christmas present, so I'm gonna give those a try. Let's see. So the color scheme that I wanted for Kinetica here, like I said, I've got a blue and gray or blue and silver thing going, but I'm thinking I might change the gray or the silver to white. Just see how it looks. Might go two different shades of blue instead. So let's Use the wedge tip. Yeah. They say this is a blue marker, but it's looking more green to me. I don't know how it looks there. Do a quick test here. Like I say, these are new markers. I'm not too au fait with them yet, but let's see here. A lighter blue compared to that blue. Well, whatever. Lighter blue is more what I was going for. Okay, that's fine. I mean, it doesn't say teal. It says blue. Here, hold it up to the camera. I don't know if you can see that there. Not focusing, but it says blue. I mean, I don't know how markers rate their colors, but there we go. But again, this is just rough. This is all just experimental. But yeah, this lighter blue is more what I was after. Okay, ignore everything below the waistline. I'm liking this lighter blue a lot more. I actually had her original blue as darker, but not this kind of sea green thing. It was actually like a proper navy sort of blue. Kind of liking the lighter blue more already. So let's go quick. Blue lenses on our mask. No, that makes no sense, but whatever, it looks cool. And then blue hair as well. Okay, so this is how. Yeah, I was thinking that, but I think I've already overdone it with the teal. But let's see. If I can do that closer up here. Make it very subtle. It kind of looks like she's got these weird shadows on her legs, but it's fine. It's fine. This is all experimental. Okay, so now the big question is, main question for this character design is, right? Do I keep current parts that are white? Um, do I keep the current parts that are white? Do I keep them white, or do I make them gray? Because I've had them as gray currently, that is in her current design. But I'm thinking it looks a little dull and not quite as eye-popping. So I'm thinking white might be a bit more, might stand out a little bit more, might make for something more heroic looking, I suppose. I mean, I've got a gray marker here, so I'll fill in some gray as a shadow on the white, but whether or not that gray should extend and become a more fuller and like an integral part of the outfit, that's the question. I'm just gonna do it as the shadowed areas for now. Like this. I don't know. Opinions, thoughts? Should I make this gray, like more expansive, or should she just keep with a blue and white? More I'm thinking about it, I'm kind of liking the white design. Gives her more of a heroic look, I think, because the gray in the past has been a little more. Well, the thing about the whole social anxiety thing is uh, because that's her character, is that she's going to have social anxiety. Um, the idea of her being in a costume sort of gives her the confidence to be out and a little bit more. But the longer she hangs around, is the more means she gets more nervous and more worried about that thing. Um, but I mean, sure, gray blending in a bit more would make her harder to spot. But I'm not looking for like I don't want my superhero verse to be too dark and gritty. I mean, it's gonna have some dark and gritty stuff in it, but for the most part, I actually want people to have some fun while they read. So I don't want anything too serious to start. So to have I want some bright, colorful, um, fun characters. So yeah, I'm starting to think the white is definitely more heroic. Uh, I don't know, maybe maybe I'll have one of those dark age angst-induced um, storylines when people say I've completely lost the plot, and then she upgrades to a grey outfit. Like Spider-Man got the black costume, and you had the Nightfall storyline over at DC. Basically, any hero that came out of the 90s. But yeah, okay. I think for now we'll stick to the blue and white idea. That may change again later, but for now I'm kind of liking that. Okay. Yeah, wow. Yeah, this is this is why I have a plotting sheet. Because otherwise I get color all over my lighting table. Let's adjust this a bit. Okay, so yeah, conclusion. I need to go. Don't fix what ain't broke, and yeah, okay. And that'll do for her for now. Uh, there is another guy that I want to do that I've got something for his costume, but I'm not 100% satisfied with it because it sort of makes him look a bit like Sinestro, but like old school Sinestro with that black and blue outfit before he went all till there was like a whole Sinestro core. My paper is just falling everywhere. Excuse me. Um, I'm I've got a very limited space here. The wires to my ring light and my phone's power cable are actually going behind my back. So if I lean back, it shakes the whole thing. Um, but I make do. But anyway, yeah, like I said, I've got an idea for this other guy. Um, he's more of the delinquent character, the kind of guy who he's not a bad guy. He just likes to cause trouble for fun, but he doesn't really mean to hurt anyone. Normally takes it out on like the overprivileged and things like that. Uh, he's sort of like the gadgeteer genius, and he's a teleporter as well. He's got like a short range teleport thing. He's got a little doohickey in his arm. But you'll see. Let's see. I'll whip him up here quick. Uh, yeah, artist problems. So the name I've got for this guy is Splits. I mean and it's spelled with a Z because um, because he's 16 years old and he thinks that kind of thing is cool. I mean, I know the 90s were cringe, but I don't think we've quite shaken off uh, everything about it just yet. Especially in this age of screen names and gamer tags and things like that, substituting a Z for an instead of an S is probably so commonplace now it's not even cringe. I mean, I'm going to do them in the same pose basically because it's hands on the hips is like the easiest superhero pose to do. And again, I'm here for outfit ideas, so it shows off the outfit relatively well. Oh boy, I had some terrible email addresses. My Hotmail address, I don't even want to get into the details of that. I was like so desperate to find something that I had that no one else had that I named it after a character that I've made up that was utterly inconsequential to anything in my future. Like I could, like he was literally an NPC in a video game, basically, had no relevance at all. But to this day, no one else probably has that Hotmail address. And yes, I actually know people who still have Hotmail address. He just hasn't bothered to upgrade to Gmail. Well, I'm one to talk about being late to jump on trends. I think Facebook was like 3 years old before I got my Facebook account. Even then, I don't do much with it. Noan Gelza. At least that actually sounds like a name. I don't know if I actually deleted mine. I just sort of assumed it expired or something. But I wouldn't be able to tell you the password. So even if it does exist, I'm probably never going to be able to log back into it again. So it might as well be. Okay, so this is the base for splits. Oh, no Angel ZA. Oh, okay. Now that makes more sense, I suppose. I don't know. I think Noan Gelza could be um, like a name for a fantasy character. Splits has got some goggles. And no, the goggles don't do anything. Goggles do nothing. Yes, I know. Outdated late 90s memes. He's got kind of like floppy, messy hair. And like I said, he's got a kind of gadgety doohickey on his arm. Vision correction? Nah, I think he just thinks they look cool. Or maybe they are vision correction, but he just doesn't tell anybody that. Got this little sciencey doohickey on his arm, and that lets him teleport. Also lets him like remote access devices and things like that. He uses that just to mess with people. But usually they're bad guys, so that's fine. Now, the way I had his costume originally, it's sort of like just like a plain black jumpsuit, and then he had this kind of like starburst shape coming from the neck. So it was sort of like this. The belt, also probably just a fashion accessory as the belt goes. It sort of made it look like he had ice powers, and I think Icicle also had like a bit like this. So I'm not quite sure I want to keep. I don't want his outfit to be too flashy. I mean, sure, he's a delinquent, but it's got to be more practical. Um, I think I need to call up a picture here just to remind myself. Let's see. Hopefully this doesn't slow down my stream at all. I would look this up on my phone, but my phone is currently occupied. His personality, I mean, your typical 16-year-old guy. Uh, thinks he's smarter than everyone else. Thinks the world is a stupid place, and thinks he knows better. All that. Um, like I say, bit of a delinquent character, but he's also, because he's a gadgeteer kind of guy. I would say he's also rather smart. So he's one of those kids that, like, he knows he's smarter than everyone else in the room. Unfortunately, and but just because he's smarter doesn't mean he is wiser. So you're looking at the difference between um, knowledge and wisdom here. So he's got plenty of knowledge, but not so much wisdom. Uh, rolled high in intelligence, low in wisdom. Picture. I'm not going to call this up on stream. This is just for me. Maybe for his boots. Yeah, boots of some kind. Okay, yeah, he had, like, again, very basic boots. Nothing too special there. because as I want these characters to be visually interesting, I don't want them to be sort of too over the top. Like even that he may still have some cringe left over from the 90s, I certainly do not want to delve too deep into the superhero fashion choices of the 90s. Um, like, sure, he has a belt that probably serves no real purpose, but at least it's not covered in pouches. Yeah. So this was the basic idea for his outfit, but I want something a little more interesting, like a different design at the top. I mean, I had thought of a lightning bolt at one point, but he's not a speedster. Like I say, he's a teleporter. And I've got another character who wears a lightning bolt, so it's not going to be bad. So let's see if I can come up with something a little more interesting. And still keep the basic design. Like I've got nothing against like the basic boots and the like simple gloves and anything. But let's see if I can get something better for actual top. It's like basic circle. I mean, I don't want it to have like the same design as Kinetica with like the color breakup along the side, because then he's starting to look a bit too much like Spider-Man. And Kinetica is also already my sort of Spider-Man-esque character in a way. I mean, I think a lot of my characters have an essence of Spider-Man in them. They're like Spider-Man, isn't it? But zipper down the face. Yeah, it's not a utility belt at all. It's like just literally a fashion statement. Galaxies, black holes. Yeah, I can see that. So again, something circular. Um, and then some, he starts looking a bit like Havoc. Uh, yeah, why are all the good superhero designs already taken? It's like, mm, I'll keep doodling. Maybe something. Uh, get like a close up on his wrist device. The idea behind this thing is that he didn't invent this. Like he's a 16-year-old kid, and smart as he may be, he's not smart enough to invent a personalized teleportation device. Not really. Uh, but he found this mysterious device, and I've got a whole other idea for why it was there in the first place. Um, he found it, he tweaked it, and he figured it out. So this is his thing. Like he finds interesting things, toys with them, he tweaks them, gets cool stuff out of it. So maybe he does have a utility belt of some kind, but only if he's actually bothered to put anything on it. Otherwise, it's just there. Um, probably something like touch screen over here. Think of this like it's the like one of those projector wristbands that can like you press the button on it and it sort of like displays the thing on your arm. But because this device has to teleport you and things, it's probably a bit more heavy duty. But it's got like a screen on it. It's got some buttons on the side. Buttons are cool. I like pushing buttons. And it's not a doesn't necessarily have to be a keyboard. It's probably some kind of so similar to a touch screen. It's like showing readouts and things, all kinds of data stuff. That's an idea. Let me some other reference I can look up quickly, because this is starting to remind me of something. But if I can find what I think I'm looking for, yeah, I can shift it around a little bit, make it a little less recognizable, and see how it works. Pull up some reference here. Okay. So because this is a piece of technology, spoilers, it's from the future. This is future tech. So maybe it's got some kind. I take a leaf out of Jack Kirby's book. Some fancy lines, things. Do they serve any purpose? Probably not. But it's a design choice, and people probably won't see this up close too much. Oh, it's just something they flavor. Like you wouldn't see that unless really close up. But something similar for his outfit, maybe he's taken some inspiration from it. You go and look at Jack Kirby's New Gods. I mean, man was an absolute, absolute boss at what he did. But yeah, if you've ever seen the New Gods, those things are absolutely crazy. Some of the stuff that Jack Kirby came up with there. Hello? Sorry, getting a message on. What's up? Someone came in with me. Let's see. Hmm. Excuse me while I look up reference. I'm sure this is riveting, riveting viewing. Yeah, it's superhero suits printed. Which ones? It's interesting. If I can work some of that into here. It's, and this doesn't really. This is no like real significance as to what this design means. It's just visually interesting. Uh, hmm. I don't know. That looks a bit weird, actually. Just that the way that's arranged. Uh, It's not bad. Too bad, but let's alter it slightly so that it doesn't look like he's wearing a freaking tight tank top, like a little crop top. Um, so that. Wonder, that a bit too similar to the previous one? I don't know. What machine did I say I'm using to stream? I'm using a site called Restream, and the software that I'm using is OBS. So you can hook up the Restream link to the OBS, the streaming part of OBS, and then through Restream you can add uh, whatever streaming sites you want to. That's very handy. Let me see here. I wonder, is that too similar? Like he's got a bit of a design, bit of a design. This doesn't really mean anything. Like the main part of his costume is going to be darker, so it's like all this here is darker. So the rest of it sort of stands out a bit like Tron lines. I have nothing against Tron lines. That's actually quite suiting for his character. The only difference is like his don't necessarily light up. They're just lighter parts of the suit. Yeah, he's definitely going to be different colors. I mean, he also had a bit of a light blue going for him. That's why Kinetica had dark blue to start. Although for him, I might change it up a bit. Might give him green. Don't really have any green on the team right now, so uh, might get green. something. I'd like single line going maybe on the arms as well. Okay, that's something. Well, I'll come back to him because there's one more character that I want to draw up at least, and this is gonna be uh, the de facto leader of this little team. I mean, the team is gonna expand, but starting off with these three, we'll progress from there. Stand by. Always put armor panels that stand away from the suit. I think that's a little too technologically advanced for him. Like his main technological thing is his wrist doohickey. I don't think he'd be the type to wear armor. Uh, this next character, I mean, she's not going to wear armor, but she said maybe if she gets an upgrade to her powers, she'll get armor. But she'd be more likely to wear armor. So this one, I'm pretty satisfied with the design. There's probably not going to be too much I want to change on this one. Maybe just her shoes. I still haven't quite decided what I want shoes on this one. She might even go barefoot. But she's gonna. Right now, I'm thinking she might wear sandals. Although boots would be more practical. I initially drew her with boots, but I don't know if she's going to stick with that. Like I say, she might go for sandals. My music just ran out. Excuse me. Let's get something else going in the. Yeah. Okay. Back to the doodles. So this is, like I said, the sort of de facto leader of the team. She's uh, rather Wonder Woman inspired, or Wonder Girl, I suppose, because if we're being technical about ages. Um, so she's got the warrior look going on, except she is more inspired by Egyptian mythology rather than Greek. And she is going to take the name of Isis, the Egyptian goddess. And when I first came up with this character, I was a little reluctant to use that name. Because it might have some unfortunate implications with certain groups in the world today. But the name Isis is a public domain mythological character, so I have no qualms about using it in that context. If other people want to read into it just because she is a person of color, then that's their own fault for that. If I have a brown character called Isis, then they're just gonna have to deal with it because she's Egyptian. Of course she's brown. Yes, I'm doing the hands on hips poses again. Like I said, it's just the ease of the thing. I want to too overly muscular. I mean, yes, she's big and tough, but she is still technically a teenager, so don't overdo it. And the idea behind Isis here, she is sort of a legacy hero. Like, she isn't the first to have the power that she has. I mean, it's your basic standard set of superpowers: endurance, strength, fighting skill, that sort of thing. She's not the first. Other members of her family have had this kind of power before. They've also taken like Egyptian deity names as their superhero monikers. Um, but I think she might be the first woman to receive this power. Just coincidentally, it's just never happened. Maybe long line of guys in her family, and she was the first daughter to inherit the power. I don't know. Still working that up. But yeah, so she's got a legacy to live up to. It's that's her motivation as a hero. Family tradition. Scanning in a blank pixel waste. Yeah, I've thought about that. But my printer's not great at the moment. I mean, yeah, I could do it, but I like drawing. Besides, like I said, this is more of a refinement. Yes, I have the basic idea down. Also, I didn't have a lot of time to set up for the stream earlier, so maybe if I'd had more time, I would have done it. But it is what it is. I'm generally pretty lazy about these things too, but in this case, getting ready in time for the stream, it actually would have been more work uh, trying to get that done. But maybe next time. It's these silken drapery things. Don't worry, she's wearing pants under this. Like I said, this is not the 90s, and she is a teenager, not having underage characters wearing thongs. There. She's got like a leotard of some kind there, but the kind with pants. Like it's all the one color. So, like I said, I'm not quite sure what I want for her feet, because looking at uh, looking at Egyptian style things, like particularly um, ancient Egyptian style, um, they didn't really have boots because they were in the desert, so they might have had sandals, but they're also more likely to just go barefoot. So I don't know. Does she fight barefoot? Maybe. I mean, she'll have some shin guards of some kind, because those look pretty neat, and they tie the look together. But no, no, go where you have to go. I see we've got a couple people watching on YouTube, so if anyone else is watching, feel free to say hi or lurk. Doesn't matter. Yeah, just trying to decide on footwear for Isis here. Does she fight barefoot? Does she have sandals? I don't know. Did ancient Egypt have any particular kind of sandals? I haven't played Assassin's Creed in a while. Ancient Egyptian wear. Yeah, they had sandals. Ah, these aren't bad, actually. I mean, why not? So if we, whoops, drop my eraser. Funky feet it back. Okay, let me sit here. Do it like this. Like a side. Goes over there. Uh, I don't know, maybe? Or a face in here, sitting here without a face. She doesn't wear a mask. Isis doesn't wear a mask. She Clark Kents it. She wears glasses when she's not superheroing. He's also got, I mean, doing an Egyptian character here. Can't not do this. She's got the wadjet around her eyes. Oh, she's got the prominent makeup. The wadjet, I think. Wadjet goes on the right eye, I believe. It's the right eye of Ra. Eye or Horus. Can't really see it too well from this side, but she's got it. Yeah. Hello again, Maggie. But yeah, so like I've got these kind of sandal things going on now for the feetwear, which I believe are based on actual Egyptian sandals. And I'm kind of liking them. Might even simplify them, they don't even have to be this complex. Might just be enough to. I mean, come on, this is a superhero comic. Who half the time they don't explain why the costumes stay on anyway, so she can wear sandals. People won't question why they stay on. But yeah, so that's Isis. we go. That's our team leader. I'm going for an hour and a half. Might do one more big picture, and then maybe call it there for the afternoon. But let's go for a team shot, shall we? So let's get all three of them into focus here. We got Splits, we got Isis, and we got Kinetica. These are the three superheroes that are going to be kicking off my intended comic universe. I actually have a picture here. I mean, I posted this on Twitter ages ago. Okay, now to retrieve this picture without completely toppling my entire art setup all over the place. Where is it? Interesting, what did I do with it? Hello? Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay, so this one, I actually started working on Kinetica's first story. I originally intended it to be 8 pages, but I'm thinking of expanding it to 12. So this is one of Kinetica's first solo outings. This is probably going to be the cover. I figured it might be page 1, but I think this is now going to be the cover. If I can zoom out. There we go. There we go. Check that out. Not bad, I thought. Feast your eyes on that. More stuff falling over. So yeah, thank you. Yeah, so this guy here. Rather typically, keeping the name simple. This is a guy he is known simply as Monstrosity, which I figured is appropriate enough. So yeah, this was going to be like an introductory story for Kinetica to just show off what she can do. Oh, thank you for the background details. It's actually very much a cheat in a lot of cases. I'll zoom in a little more. Zoom it in here and you can take a closer look. I mean, I've got like the basic outline of the buildings. They were probably going to be silhouetted, but if you look here, like it's only the nearest figures that have any detail at all, and even then, not much. This was a trick my animation lecturer taught me about crowd shots. Like when you've got a crowd, you just need the front row of people to have any kind of detail, and the rest are all just silhouetted. And sometimes you don't even need the people in the front. But yeah, and you'll see I used 2 different color pencils to detail the main characters so that they stand out from each other. And so when I get around to inking this eventually, I won't get confused as to who's who. Okay, let's zoom this back out again. Go. Yep. Okay, so yeah, that's sort of where I'm looking to take this. I'm like big, colorful superhero action going. Sort of like I don't know if anyone watching the two people who are, if you've read Robert Kirkman's Invincible, absolutely fantastic, comic series. Rather violent. There's no shortage of blood and gore in that series, um, and it's published by Image Comics. So what do you expect? But incredible story. Absolutely loved it. And all of the heroes in it are just these bright, vibrant, realistic looking things, and all kinds of things happen in those stories. There's aliens, there's interdimensional travelers, there's magic, there's all sorts of things, and like I wouldn't mind authoring something like that. Uh, but like I say, probably not as violent. I'm not a huge fan of gore. Um, I sort of overlooked it for that series because it was just so good. But yeah, let's doodle out a basic team shot, I think. So we're gonna have let's just do some rough plotting. Yeah, I mean, gore's never been my thing. Like even growing up, like no matter what age I was, I never really took much care for it. I mean, if it's I think if gore like serves a purpose, if it's meant to serve a purpose, like for shock value, then sure. But it's got to be proper shock value, right? It can't just be all shock all the time. It's like if you get too much of it, then it sort of loses its impact. But when it only happens um, with regards to something very significant, then sure, go for it. Like you want to significantly kill off a character and make their death um, powerful and horrifying, then yeah, show some gore. But that's the kind of gore you show once every like couple of issues at most to show how dangerous something is. But the but like yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, Invincible. Invincible had some gory moments, but they sought to emphasize the plot. They weren't. He wasn't um, he wasn't throwing in gore just because. I mean, hell, it's done by Robert Kirkman. He did The Walking Dead. He probably loves gore, but you didn't get that. It didn't come across as though it was there for fan service of any kind. It was there because it was meant to be shocking. And you go for pages and pages without there being any kind of gory stuff. There was some actually very good character dynamic things going on in it. That's like characters with their families and things. Some very heartwarming moments and things. And then suddenly one of them gets torn in half by an evil Superman. Um, that's proper use of gore to shock. It's not It's not there just to fill space. It actually serves a purpose. Battle Royale manga. Yeah, Japanese are not shy about that kind of thing. One of those weird cultural disconnects, right? The whole difference between manga and well, like any kind of Japanese culture as opposed to Western culture. As for a society that's all about respect and all that sort of thing, Japanese are not shy about putting all kinds of uh, over the top content, well, what would be considered over the top content for kids in the West, in their shows and in their literature and things. But yeah, just goes to show you can show that kind of stuff to a younger audience and they'll deal with it. I mean, I'm not saying kids should be exposed to like blood and guts and splatter and all that stuff, but I mean, they get through it. Sorry, I'm being messaged here. Excuse me. I know that's the weird thing, right? I mean, like Japan's supposedly a lot more controlled, but you look at some of the stuff that comes out there, and you compare it to here. It's like, well, you compare it to American style stuff. It's like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna espouse on stuff that I know very little about. Figure eraser. I don't know where I put it. Not not happy with that pose. Yeah, she's working at the moment. Um, so don't think she's got time to hang around on a stream. Uh, well, you mean when I reach affiliate in about 5 years? Um, I don't know, maybe. Yeah, I don't know much about. I, I'm still very new to the whole streaming thing. I'm not going into this with any expectations right off the bat. So we'll see. Well, I'm a firm subscriber of the belief that if you keep your expectations low, you will never be disappointed. And I've set my expectations high in the past, and I have continually been disappointed. Oh, cosplay streams, absolutely, do that. Just, I suppose, just finding the time and space to do that in a family environment can be tricky. But yeah, geez, absolutely, absolutely rock it. We've seen your stuff before. We know you're awesome, and I know the cosplay community would get behind you. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's one of the big things about even with indie comics these days, especially you'll see in web comics, a lot of the independent comics are done by people who um, aren't seeing the kind of things they want in comics, and so they decide to just do it themselves. Um, and I know there was a whole issue with Comicsgate, and I'm not going to get into that. Comicsgate are a bunch of jerks, but um, in my opinion. But I'm not going to bash anyone specific. But there was like huge arguments about that kind of thing. About we're not seeing what we want in comics, and therefore we are going to um, like just make our own. And while that message was all well and good, they the attitudes they took were like completely completely nonsensical. Um, okay, look, I'm already rambling about it, and I don't want to ramble about it. Suffice to say, independent comics are awesome in a lot of ways because people are doing what they want. That's why I read a lot of web comics. There are some awesome web comics out there, and it's people doing what they love and showing the kind of representation they want in mainstream things. And they do it a lot better than the mainstream stuff because the mainstream stuff doesn't know how to do it right. So like they've tried to introduce characters that are more diverse and things like that. And kudos to the mainstream comics industry for doing that. Yeah, it's open to interpretation. It's all interpretation. Um, but like some people feel feel like mainstream is not doing the kind of representation they want properly, and whether that's a good or a bad thing, depending on what kind of representation they want, uh, doing it themselves, go for it. Like whatever makes you happy. Um, just don't be a douchebag about it. It's another belief I prescribe to. If you don't like something, don't bash on it. Just ignore it. it's not hurting anyone and it's making people happy, then just when you don't like it, well, that's your problem. Just ignore it. Don't take it out on other. Like I said, I'm not going to try and bash on anyone. Just suffice to say, do what you like. Just don't be a douche. Um, like there's a ton of stuff out there that's probably really good, but I've never read it because the people who are promoting it are bad people. And it's like if you're a bad person and you're doing good, but you're doing good work, then that doesn't matter. If I don't want to, I'm not going to read your work if you're a bad person, because I'd be scared that those kind of beliefs are leaking into your work. It's like first impressions count for a lot, and if my first impression is you're a douche, then I don't want to um, I don't want to know what you've been up to. But again, that might also be me um, jumping to conclusions. I don't want to. I don't want to. Like if someone can tell me that something is genuinely good without bashing on anyone else, then cool. I will give it a. This got really deep. I apologize to anyone who's watching this after the fact. Um, this has completely turned you off my channel. Just realized I went through all that trouble trying to figure out what Isis wears in her feet, and I don't even have her feet in the shot this time. Hmm. Yeah, that's true. So that's why they say never meet your heroes. It's always sad when someone you admire turns out to be uh, someone that you would never want to admire. This is a really weird angle for her leg. I don't know why I've done it like that. Oh well. Maybe I can cheat it a bit. I'll pull a Rob Liefeld. I'll cover up the feet in any conceivable way possible. See if I can fix this leg. Maybe pull it closer to the thigh. Superhero poses, man. Superhero poses. There we go. Cheated the leg. Whatever. Even Jack Kirby said if you're not good at something, get through it however you can and work what you can and work with what's good. More eloquently than that, I think. But yeah. Great piece of advice from Jack Kirby. It's like, screw perfection. You don't need to be perfect. You just have to be good enough. Because nobody's perfect. Get some more kinds to go. The music ran out again. Let's have something random back here. Go away, Twitch spam bot. You are blocked. Bugger off. Yep, I had a bot. And it is now blocked. At least that one was only offering fame. The last bot that I had on a stream was offering something a lot worse than that. Yeah. I suppose bots are just like a natural part of the internet. We're going to be free of them. One of these things we have to put up with unless you pay to get rid of them. Sorry if I've gone kind of quiet. I think I'm in full on art mode right now. This is why I need to get some background music for the stream when I go quiet. Zone in the yeah, go get something to eat. Probably gonna call it pretty soon myself. I've also gotta go make some food soon. And I'm here alone tonight, so no one else is gonna make it for me. Uh, I mean, I usually make my own food anyway, but I'm just saying, if I don't make the food tonight, no one else is going to. No chance. Uh, I still gotta do the dishes. Good grief. Well, I've got the basic plotting out, and I have been going for nearly 2.5 hours. Might just call it here soon. Tighten up some lines. Ah, thank you, OmniDragon. Like I said, I've been here for nearly 2.5 hours. Um, so this is a quick recap. Got through. Got through. Am I going to do more streams? Absolutely. I don't have a set schedule yet. I might. Maybe I'll do it again tomorrow. I'm not sure yet. I might have other stuff to do. Um, and but yeah, Fridays are looking good for streaming. So I might just do one next week at the latest. Uh, and aside from that, come January, I'm definitely going to be streaming a lot more um, after the holidays, and I've got a proper schedule sorted out. But for now, it's just going to be whenever I have time, and that's probably usually going to be a Friday. So yeah. So to recap the stream, did some refinement on some character designs, settled on some colors for Kinetica, a new design for splits, and figured out what Isis wears on her feet. So that's what we did earlier. And then just a quick plotting out of a group shot of the three of them. Let me zoom that out as far as I can. I can't zoom out any further. Okay. I'll just angle it up like that. Uh, there we go. Okay, so yeah, and that's quick plotting out of the three of them together. So there will be more of these three in other streams, but I've got a bunch of other characters I want to draw uh, as well as like proper comic pages. I'll probably storyboard those out before I do them on stream. Uh, but yeah, maybe next time I'll actually be doing some proper comic art. But thank you for stopping by. If you want to check out the VODs, the VOD is going to be on YouTube at the very least. I don't know how long Twitch keeps VODs um, for people who aren't affiliates, but it's definitely going to be up on YouTube because I'm streaming there too. So if you want to check out some of the other stuff I did, go check it out there. Yeah, thank you, OmniDragon, for joining. Hope to see you again in the next one. Thanks to the color of duct tape, Maggie. I'll see you around pretty soon, I'm sure. And yeah, thanks for stopping by, everyone. Ciao for now.